Hello, my name is Marcus Knight. I'm a senior music business major here at Belmont University, and this is how I met Jefferson. As of 2021, there are more than 30 million small businesses here in the United States, and more than 50% of those small businesses fail within the first year. And we've seen throughout the last couple of years how amazing small businesses are to our country, the stories that they tell, the people that they bring to us. And so I'm so excited to have been able to work with a local small business here in Nashville, Tennessee called Jefferson Street Sound. We know that telling stories is the best way that we can interact with other people, the best way that we can educate ourselves, the best way that we can open our minds to new possibilities and to new opportunities as well. It's really, really cool to see a Black-owned, a small business owned right here in Nashville on historic Jefferson Street. And I can't wait to tell you a little bit about how I came across them and what we're creating right now. One of the things that we stress the most here at Belmont University throughout the honors program is the idea of telling stories well. We have all sorts of different histories and languages and stories that we read day in and day out, from past to present to future. And we want to make sure that we can communicate those stories well. And so it was really important to me as a visual learner, as a creative, as a storyteller, that I choose something for a senior thesis that would really encapsulate what it means to tell a story well. And again, like I said, I'm a visual learner, so if I can't see it, then I don't believe it. And it was really, really cool to come across Jefferson Street Sound. I've always grown up with R&B music and jazz and gospel and blues and funk and things like that. And so music has always been an important part of my life. And so when I heard from one of my professors that there was a historically Black museum, a small business owned museum that's run out of a house here in Nashville, Tennessee, I basically jumped on the opportunity to be a part of that. And for a long while, the Jefferson Street Sound Museum, though it was very robust, it had a lot of traction, it was dying because there was a generational gap. There were maybe 4 or 5 people on the entire executive team, and all of them were at least 30, 40 plus. The only millennial that was present on the executive team was Ryan Washington, the son of the founder, Lorenzo Washington. It was easy to get in contact with him, but it was very hard to bridge that generational gap. What can we do to bring in a new audience? What can we do to expose the real history of Nashville, the real musical history and influence of Black culture here in Nashville to a wider generation, a wider audience? I knew that there was a good possibility, a good reason for us to move forward with, taking on a new digital space with the Jefferson Street Sound Museum. And so that's where my creative part comes in just a little bit. I was able to create a lot of digital assets, revamp the social media on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube and all sorts of things. A key term found within the realm of personal branding, of digital marketing, is this notion of positioning. When people visit your website, when they see your social media, when they come to your in-person offices or locations, what are people learning about you? What are the messages that you're sending? When we go to Disney World, for example, the first phrase that comes to mind is the happiest place on earth, correct? So we go to these different places and there's a feeling attached, there's colors attached, there's scents, smells, sights, and sounds that are attached to our experience. And one thing that I knew for sure when I stepped into Jefferson Street Sound for the very first time, there was a richness to the space. There was history, there was legacy found within that space, and you can see it on Lorenzo's face. He is just such an avid listener of music all across the board, and he wishes for young people to be involved. Even now, there are multiple open mics and karaoke nights and all sorts of amazing things happening at Jefferson Street Sound weekly. Rap to rock to old blues to straight gospel. There are so many genres found within Jefferson Street Sound, and within the greater Nashville culture as well. It's growing every single day. Wanted to make sure that Jefferson Street Sound had a specific vision, a specific mission to not only reach Nashville, but to reach an even greater audience, and to bring people from all around the world and all around the country to make something beautiful, to appreciate music, to appreciate art as well. Again, there was that generational gap. There were months, there were school breaks, there were things that happened that caused us to be apart for a while. But then I met Sanea Jameson, who is the current executive director. She is a powerhouse. She is an icon. She is an R&B singer. She's a vocalist. She's a style icon. She is doing huge things within the Nashville community. And I met her for the first time, and I knew right off the bat that we were going to have a really fun time trying to figure out what this new era of music, what this new era of artistry, and that's not saying that we're forsaking the legacy and the history of what has come before. It's just being able to adapt and pivot with a new audience, with a new generation. So after months and months of creating and talking back and forth with Sanea and attending karaoke nights and things like that at Jefferson Street Sound, even celebrating Lorenzo's birthday, it was really cool to see that go past. But after months and months of maintaining a good relationship with Jefferson Street Sound, now I can safely say that we have entered into a new space. We have ventured into a new area of appreciation of all types of Black music, of Black culture, of Black art. I think it's really important to share those amazing stories of love, of joy, of heartache, of pain. I think it's really important to see people as holistic, as human. And I think with doing something like this, expanding the reach and the reward of Jefferson Street Sound, little things like that can really make an economic impact. It can make a social impact. It could probably even make a political impact. I mean, a lot of these genres of music were used throughout the 1900s to spark huge movements across the country and across the world. And the same thing is happening even today in the 2020s. So I'm very excited to always be a partner of Jefferson Street Sound. I'm so thankful for the honors program here at Belmont University for expanding my thinking and my feeling towards different experiences and people and places and ideas. And I'm always thankful for the culture as well, for constantly shaping how society works and interacts with each other. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for what's to come. And yeah, this is how I met Jefferson.